Hey everybody, it's Joe Vizio here. I just finished my job, so I am homeward bound, and tomorrow's the big day. I have a couple small jobs that I'm going to do tomorrow just because, I want to make the money from it. But after I do those jobs, I'm on my way to Pennsylvania. And as far as my mama's goes, she's out of here. So, I'm looking forward to it. And it's probably going to be my last video for a little while. I've been saving a lot of your videos. I haven't really been so active lately, and I'm trying to save everything up because I got me quite a long drive, and I'm going to be listening to you guys, catching up on all my comments. I love interacting with you guys that way. I love this community. And so when my wife takes her turn at the wheel, I got something to do. So, first off, I want to say happy birthday to my wife. She turns 31 years old today. She's getting old. Time for me to trade her in for a younger model, huh? Don't tell her I said that. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I remember... when we first met, and she said the words, "I have 21 years," which, she was telling me that she was 21 years old. She didn't know the best of English, but still had a lot of my respect because she really put a lot of effort into learning and trying, and hell, I think now she speaks better English than me. It's funny, I used to be able to say some things and, she don't understand what they are, but now I can't make my little comments anymore. She knows. Our story when we met, it's a good story. I should get into that sometime. So, yesterday, we went out to eat. It was just me and my wife. And we got to really talk. And we haven't had a lot of time for that lately. We're both so busy with our work schedules and trying to get all this stuff done and ready. And of course, my mother can't do anything for herself. "Mom, take that shirt and put it in this bag. I need help." So she's really playing it up best she can. So, we went out to dinner yesterday, and, we got to really do some good talking, like friends. And that was one of the big things that, when we got together, when we were friends. We had to become friends. We were two different races, two different cultures, two different languages. So, I mean, we had to talk a lot and learn a lot from each other, and we became friends. And as we're sitting there and we're eating, and you know, we're kind of talking a lot about what's going on as the smoke is finally clearing off. And you know, I put my father was probably the worst narc to me. He was mentally abusive. He was physically abusive. You know, I didn't matter. My sister didn't matter either. And that's kind of how we grew up. But when you really listen to this channel, it's my mother that gets the most attention on here. You would think that my mother is the root of my problems. And you know, with talking to my wife and everything, it really, a lot of things became so much clearer. You know, just because I can go and sit out on the porch and smoke a joint with my mother doesn't necessarily mean that our relationship is good or even medium. There's a lot of damage from my mother, and one of the big things is my mother is still continuing to do that damage. You know, I don't have it so much from my father because he's not around. I ditched his ass 8 years ago. So everything that I talk about from my father is just basically coming from bad memories. My mother's making new bad memories. And you know, I listened to a video from Ali the other day, and it was called something about the narcissist sees you as a pet that ran away. And you know, listening to that recording, I mean, that video really, it hit home, as it should really hit home with a lot of us that went through that kind of, you know, mental torture. You know, there's nothing that you can say that the narcissist just doesn't have some kind of a stock generic comment or cliche to just throw right at you. You know, example, you know, Mom, this really bothered me, and well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Maybe you should look within yourself to see if there's something that you can do about that. And you're just like, are you fucking serious? I got that from both of my parents. And that video just, I mean, you could just, especially now that you know the signs, you know what to look for, you could just pick it out. And I must say, Ollie did an excellent job picking this stuff out. But when we're in that position, you know, we don't so much pick it out right away. I wish so bad to be able to go back in time and have a conversation with my father, knowing what I know now. And I say that, and the thing is, he would probably be one step ahead. You know, they always say that, you know, you have that, no matter what you say, and you give a whole argument, and you could have a dictionary, the Bible, and an encyclopedia that all back up your point, and the narc can just, whatever. Whatever. Just kind of burns my ass. And I guess that's the point of it, isn't it? Which shows why we can't have contact with these people. My mother included. You go and you have one of these conversations with my mother, and you know, you might think she's listening, and then all of a sudden she gets the grumpy cat. And no matter what you say, it's just... Well, I'm just sorry that, in your opinion, I couldn't be a good mother to you. Well, let's see. Let's analyze this for a second, shall we, Ma? You never got along with anybody, and your brothers, your sisters, nothing. And, you know, I mean, I can't hold over anybody's head going no contact for something like that, for abuses or whatever. I mean, I'm doing it myself. But, you know, you got your family that wanted nothing to do with you. You've had 2 husbands and a very long-term boyfriend, and the end result is you're 65 years old and you're alone. Your daughter doesn't want nothing to do with you. Your son now doesn't want anything to do with you. Everybody that's brought you in hoping that they were going to show you a different kind just wants nothing. So who's the scarecrow? So, as me and my wife talk about this over our dinner, and, you know, I mean, it's bringing us closer together, because, you know, we're sorting through the sea of bullshit, and we finally gotten to the asshole. And it ain't me. It's not my wife. My wife is kind of excited that, you know, she's going to get her husband back. That closing that last door is going to bring her husband back. And she can see, you know, my mother lived with me for like 2 years, and then she lived with me for a year, and then she lived on her own for like 4 years, and then she moved back in with me for a year, and then went up to Pennsylvania for a little bit until her sister couldn't take her anymore. And then she came back down, and she's been living with me for the past 3 years. And my wife can see the difference in me. And now that I'm looking from a different perspective, I can see the difference in me. You know, I didn't used to just hide out in my man cave. I didn't start that whole man cave thing until my mother moved in with me after she was on her own for like 4 years, and then went to Pennsylvania. No, I'm sorry, she didn't go to Pennsylvania yet. She had lived with me for 4 years. And I'm sorry. She lived on her own for 4 years, and then she moved in with us. And, you know, that's when I built my first man cave. And I never really sat out in the living room for anything. And then, you know, she went up to Pennsylvania. And we bought our house here. And, you know, my mother moved in with us over here. And it's kind of been the same thing. But before that, you know, even when I wanted to play my video games, I had it all set up in the living room. And, you know, I mean, I was there. I was present in my family. And now I'm kind of not doing that. I'm kind of just hiding from the bullshit. And so it's like this past year, you know, I'm doing all these narcissist videos and learning everything. And I'm learning and I'm healing on one side. But on the other side, it's undoing what's being done. And, you know, I have to say that the empath in me has even tried to protect my mother. What the fuck was I protecting her for? Why was I protecting her? She didn't protect me. And I have to say that the guilt trips are coming hard and heavy. Now that we're getting down to them final hours, I'm getting the guilt trips. And you know, like what I said to my wife when we were eating this, you know, my mother was kind of half-ass there until I turned 12 years old. And I say half-assed because my sister was everything. My sister could do no wrong, and I was a little retard. That's what my mother called me. And at 12 years old, my mother sent me to go live with my father. And I've covered this. My mother complained all the time about how much my father abused her. And yeah, he didn't beat her up. I mean, I seen one time where he had grabbed her. He didn't hit her, but, you know, he wasn't physically abusive towards her. I think he was afraid because he knew, you know, his ass would get locked up for doing something like that. It was okay to hit your kids back then. But he didn't beat my mom up, but he beat the hell out of her mentally. And my mom watched him beat the shit out of me and my sister. So my mother sent me to go live with the known abuser. She didn't protect me. She's never protected me. So I have to say, and as I'm closing this out, I would say that we're pretty much even. You somewhat took care of me for my first 12 years. Well, for the past 9 years, you have either lived with me or lived close to me. I've cut your grass. I've cleaned your little trailer. I've moved you from place to place. Me and my wife have taken you to your doctor's appointments. We've taken you to the store. We've done a lot of things, and I don't like listing things like that. I look at that as a form of gaslighting when people, oh, but I did this and I did that. Yes, I do look at it that way, but just hear me out. And everything that I've done over the past 9 years, and what my mother did for me for my first 12 years, Am I supposed to take care of this woman until she dies? I'd say we're pretty well even. I would say that none of this is my responsibility. I would say that you made your own bed. Now it's going to be time for you to lie on it. Lie in it. I've been guilt-tripped by you. I've been gaslit by you. Both me and my wife has watched you use people. We've watched you use us. We've watched you play each other. So, as we're getting down to this last 24 hours that you're going to be living with me, and probably within the last 48 hours that I'm ever going to see you again. Remember what you said to me the other day? Well, guess what? Fuck you too. Thanks for letting me get that out. So, I'm almost home. And again, I can't thank everybody in this community enough that takes the time and offers me advice and comments and allows me to comment and offer you my advice, and for everybody to get something out of this. And you know, you all are my strength. You're my strength. My family is my strength. And it is time to close the book on this chapter and start anew. It was August 13th, 2015 was the day that I found that meme that sent me into my downward spiral, which showed me the light at the end of the tunnel. And I can still see that light. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make the thumbnail for this video that meme. So if you want to see it, if you'll be able to click on it or enlarge it or whatever, and if you can't see it, just let me know, and I'll gladly email it to you, or you know, you can look me up on Facebook. Anybody that wants to friend me on Facebook, you're more than welcome to. You know, I just have to warn you, I do a lot of political stuff through Facebook, and you know, you might not agree with my opinion on that there, but you know, we're all in trouble. We're all in trouble, and all of us people, no matter what race we are, what gender, what our preferences are, I mean, we really need to unite and stop with this whole political gaslighting that we're all going through. My email, thecleaningguy@hotmail.com, thecleaningguy@hotmail.com. Send me an email. I'll gladly send that picture over to you. And you know, again, I can't thank you all enough. This has really been great. And once again, you know, happy birthday to my wife. This is, I just missed her 21st birthday because it was in the end of August when we really started talking to each other. So this is actually my 9th birthday that I've spent with her. And I'm pulling up to my house. Thank you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And keep this community strong. Thank you.